is knocking at your door. Now, yesterday, House Democrats unveiled sweeping legislation that would slam almost every business with a penalty equal to 8% of their payroll if they fail to provide health insurance for their employees. Now, it also slaps additional taxes on the country's highest earners. Now, it looks like the Democrats are using every political issue in this country as an excuse to hike your taxes. And that is our headline this Wednesday night, playing politics with your health. Now, meanwhile, today, the Senate Health Committee passed a $1 trillion health care overhaul. And get this, it's called the Affordable Health Choices Act. Now, Republicans were shut out of the drafting process, and as a result, they were forced to offer more than 100 amendments to the Democrats' shoddy bill. Now, Republicans charge that the Senate bill will plunge the nation further into debt, but fail to provide Americans with any real choice when it comes to their health care. Let's take a look.
That bill gets an F. It's important that we get it right. That bill got it wrong.
The bill includes a government plan that CBO says will force millions of Americans out of their current coverage, out of the coverage that they now want and believe in, and into the government plan. That's not keeping what you have if you like it, and it'll also leave millions of Americans uninsured.
Now, I'm extremely disappointed and sad to say that it is not the people on this stage who will be hurt by the Democrats' partisan approach. It's all Americans.
And joining me to discuss today's events and much more are the co-hosts of the Jerry and Fred Show, Senator Fred Thompson and Jerry. Good to see you. I'm going to get into this in a minute. And you're in trouble, by the way, and I'll explain. All right. First of all, we're going to show our audience in the next segment. John Boehner came out with this chart today. We're going to show everybody out there this chart and how bad and how bureaucratic it is. But how important, Senator, is it to stop this bill?
Well, it's extremely important. It's the first step to a nationalized health care system that we've seen operate around the world. And if you want to stand in long lines and pay money that you don't have, put it on our grandchildren, then it would be before you. But, you know, that reminds me an awful lot of the chart, the Hillary Clinton chart of 1994. You remember that one?
Yeah.
The Rube Goldberg type deal?
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is going to fail for the same reason.
You really believe Democrats, now there is some sign, Jerry, signs that some Democrats are balking. They went home after their vote on cap and tax, and they got an earful. Do you think that there's going to be the political will? Will Democrats lead Pelosi, Reid, and Obama?
It was really disappointing to see the Blue Dog Democrats cave. You know, they
on cap and tax.
On cap and tax, it really was. Yeah. So we'll see what they're going to do with this. But this chart, to me, I don't know if anyone has children or remembers their own childhood. This is chutes and ladders, and unfortunately, there ain't no ladder up, and it's only shooting down to have no choices at all. If anyone has a veteran in their family and know what veterans' health care is like, this is what our lives are going to be like. This is not a good thing.
One of their big talking points, Senator, is that this will put everybody at ease and take away your fears. Why do you think there's so much confidence, that people have confidence that the government can solve their problem?
Who was it that said if I knew that someone was saying he was going to come over to my house to help me, I would run fast in the other direction? That's the way we ought to feel about this. It's not. That's why they're panicking, because they don't want the American people to have time to look and see what's in this bill. That's why the president's coming back and rushing and putting the hammer down on the House and Senate Democrats. But as you get into this thing and look at it, people understand you don't save money by spending tremendous amounts of money. The president's right. He takes a truth, which is the Medicare is going bankrupt, and now he kind of wants to force everybody onto a Medicare-type system. And he brings 46 million people into the system that are not there now, he says, and that's supposed to save money?
What is the best way for Republicans to stop this?
I think they just have to pick it apart, and they have to talk about costs, and they have to talk about they're spending money that we don't have for a plan that we are not going to want once we look through it. We've got multi-trillion-dollar deficits, as far as the eye can see, 1.8 trillion deficit, by the end of this year, and unprecedented levels. You're talking about additional trillion or two or three here. Nobody knows yet. Then you've got to talk about rationing. The only way that you can lower health care costs at a time when technology is increasing, more ways to save our lives, to lower costs, is by rationing. You can do that through a free market system where people decide themselves what they want to purchase. and you can do it through the government. And that's why they want to force everybody into a Medicare-type system where they can call the shots as to what kind of treatment your mother or your son or your daughter can have.
Yeah, but you know, Jerry, we've got an infomercial media mentality out there where you're not getting the scrutiny that we're going to give to this, not only tonight, but in the weeks to come. They're trying to rush this through. I think that Obama senses that his political capital is beginning to wane. The polls show that 8 out of 10 key issues Republicans now lead, that the country's on the wrong track, that the Democrats are too liberal. So are they going to be successful in pushing this through without having any American read this thing?
They're going to do the very best they can, and that's why August is so important. It's so important, like it was for the immigration fight. And we have to go home. We have to tell our parents. We have to tell our friends. We have to email everybody we know that this isn't what's going to make us healthier.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll ask you both: how important is it that this be stopped in terms of preserving the America that we know and the greatest healthcare system we have?
I don't know how it could get any worse. Really, I mean,
meaning this bill?
I don't know how it could get any worse. Knowing what this is going to lead to, I don't know how it could get any worse. It's going to bankrupt our children, our grandchildren, and it's going to give us worse health care. What could be worse than that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the linchpin to a lot of other things. It's going to be the first major step in changing the face of American society. I think it's that important.
That important.
Yeah.
That dangerous.
Yeah.
All right. Now